Welcome to the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand. Yes, hello and welcome back to the Kop TV for your third free video of the day. If you haven't subscribed already, after three free videos, get out. If you haven't got what it takes to cut it, get out. No, I'm only joking. Listen, Top of the Kops, episode 18. Pleasure to be back after we missed a week last week due to the international break. But Terry McAllister from Toffee Blues TV joins me now to talk about the game on Saturday. How are we, fella? Thank you very much for joining.
I'm good, mate. Thanks for having me on. It's my first time behind enemy lines, any show like this, so you'll have to be gentle with me. But I'm glad I'm on before the game, because after the game, it's touch and go whether I'm going to be washing my hair if anyone tries to speak to me then.
Yeah, do you know what? I actually think this is the first time we've ever had an Everton fan on the channel as well. So a first for both of us. I mean, in the title, it says the best Merseyside derby ever, ? It's definitely something that we'll answer later on in the show. But to come, we have Terry's excellent matchday mixer. I tell you what, it's one of the best ones we've had so far in all 18 episodes. Of course, we're going to look ahead to the derby at Saturday at 12:30. And we'll talk about a little bit the international results as well. But yeah, Terry from the Toffee Blues, do you know what? We've already had your mob having a go at me on Twitter, because in the tweet to announce this show, I did say looking ahead to the big one on Sunday, and then one of your fans has quote tweeted me saying, "Why don't the Reds know when their game is?" So already it's beautiful. Do you know what I mean?
It's building up nicely, and pressure's building until it's going to blow on Saturday. Not Sunday, Saturday.
Not Sunday. Saturday, yes. So, listen, I'm not going to lie to you, Tel. It's been a great start to the season for Everton. You're top of the league. You're absolutely flying. I bet it's hard for you to keep a straight face right now and not try and smile. But talk to me about kind of how things have turned around, especially when you consider that the record against us is wretched. I mean, no wins at your place for 10 years, no wins at our place for over 20. I mean, I bet you're looking forward to this one, though, Tel, on Saturday.
Oh, I'd never look forward to a derby, but on paper, yeah. If you're a neutral fan, you look at this game and you think, do you know what, Everton could be on here. This could be the game that they win, and it's hard to argue with that, because Everton have, now going into this game are a lot stronger than they've been for the past 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, when it comes to the long-term derby record, I mean, I've seen Everton lose to Liverpool with Jay Spearing in midfield. It's not always been a quality thing, but in the last 5 years, it has very much been just a case of the difference in quality of the teams, because Everton have been in flux in that time, different managers, a 1 in 5 hit rate on signing players, transfers. You get about one good one every so often. Lots of wasted money. Whereas in that same period, Liverpool have everyone knows who's watching this, had an amazing, development from when Jurgen Klopp took over to where they are now, was, the best team in the country and arguably the world. So it's just been a case in that window of, they're just a much better team against a team that aren't as good. Whereas now you're looking at Everton and you think, we've got some good new players in, James Rodriguez, Alan, players like that, and they've clicked into place and raised the levels of the players we already have. So there could be more of a game on than the last few years, especially compared to the previous Goodison games, because the previous Goodison games have been very tight, very cagey, 0-0s. Everton pretty much setting up to, be hard to beat. And they've often come at the wrong time for Liverpool. Like, they've come between, Champions League semi-final legs, or, right after right at the start of Project Restart, after the lockdown. So they've been inconvenient to get Liverpool's best form. But this time, I think we might see a better game and more goals, certainly, because Everton this time will have the confidence and the belief that they can come out and really attack Liverpool with some of the players we've got now. Whereas I think the last couple of Goodison derbies, we haven't really tried to do that, not other than on the break.
Yeah, absolutely. I think me and James both said in the match preview just then that we put on the channel that there's definitely going to be goals at both ends. I can almost guarantee it. I think the thing that really made me sit up and pay attention to you guys, especially this season, was the transfer window. That was everything for you. You guys have had a wretched record. I mean, the summer of 2017, or it might have been 18, you get Iwobi, Walcott, Rooney, that fella up top, Janssen or whatever his name was, not Janssen. There you go. Them guys there. I mean, that's an awful transfer window. For you to actually now get Alan, James, and Decore, who I think's an excellent ball-winning, breaking up the pitch midfielder, that changed everything. And then after you've kind of strung together not only 4 league wins in a row, but your cup wins as well, you've scored a lot of goals. It's hard not to at least pretend not to ignore you anymore and start taking you deadly seriously now. When it comes to this game in particular, I personally do think, Terry, that this will be the most hyped, potentially the strongest or most competitive Merseyside derby in Premier League history. I do think it's that much on the line on Saturday. Let us know in the comments, guys, what you think of to Saturday's 12:30 kickoff. Which way do you see it going? Let us know if you've got any questions as well for Terry. But we're going to get into a little bit of a football roundup. I mean, look, there's been no football for Everton or Liverpool to talk about. So we'll speak a little bit about how players got on in the international break. So obviously England did beat the world's #1 ranked team in Belgium. Listen, to be fair, as much as I'm, proud to be from this country, I'm not the hugest England fan, to be fair. I think a lot of people who watch the show regularly will know that. But listen, we were led out by Jordan Henderson, the captain. 2-1 win at Wembley. Like I said, the first in the world rankings, their first loss since November 2018. Terry, for you, watching England now, I mean, we don't have to go into about why Scousers in general don't really watch England, and that's totally the side that I'm totally on as well. But for me, there's a slight more interest now because of the likes of Trent coming in. I mean, Calvert-Lewin, Cody. I was really excited to see these guys score and play so well. Is there a little bit more of an interest now, considering that your main man DCL is now scoring and starting for England?
I don't think it's an interest as in people suddenly want England to do well. I think it's just more of a watch from behind the couch now because Calvert-Lewin's playing, and we've seen how this goes, where player goes away on international duty, picks up an injury, comes back and misses games for his club. There is nothing that would get majority of Liverpool, a lot of Liverpool fans and a lot of Everton fans to become flag waving England fans. It's just not as big a thing as it is everywhere else. I mean, we could go into why that is. It's we could have a whole show about that separate. But I think there's interest in the sense of it. A lot of Everton fans were quite happy to see Calvert-Lewin get his call up, get recognition. Because he's developed so well over the past it's probably 9 months since Ancelotti came in, 9-10 months. But I think if he was left out of the 3 games, or if he was left out of 2 after making his debut and scoring, if he'd not played the next 2 games, I think everyone would have been happy.
Yeah.
It's just I'm one of those fans. I want my cake and eat it. I want to be able to watch the tournaments and enjoy, World Cups and Euro tournaments, but I don't want the international breaks through the season. Yeah, I don't want what is required for that to happen. So, yeah, I don't think it'll really pique the interest of Everton fans or Liverpool fans more than usual having extra players for England. I think it'll just increase their anxiety because, as Liverpool saw, you've had a couple of scares this window, this international break with injuries, and now with the added, scare of COVID going away into different groups and what have you.
Absolutely. I think I was the kind of guy like yourself that saw Henderson captain him and then was like, right, don't need to play him for England again. Let's get him fresh for the game on Saturday. Like you said, so many reasons why Scousers in particular might not want to watch England. But I do think with the Dominic Calvert-Lewin scoring, with Trent playing, with Cody playing, I suppose in a way Scousers have always played for England. You look at Rooney and Gerrard, 2 of the biggest ever. Emlyn Hughes, if you want to take it way back. But yeah, I think it's Phil Thompson as well. So it's a tough one to kind of relate totally with and get on board with the England setup sometimes. But I do think that there's a slight more attractiveness about watching it now that the new guard of players are coming in. So I can get behind that. I think Liverpool players in general during the international break, I know Shaqiri was rumoured to have COVID. Keita also rumoured, but both rumours have been squashed now, I think. But Bobby scored 2 on international duty for Brazil. Robertson captained Scotland through to the qualifiers. They've gone through there. And obviously Trent played, Henderson captained. I mean, the international break is always a tough one. How have Everton players fared in this break?
Okay, mostly. I mean, everyone knows, Calvert-Lewin made his England debut and then played another game. He scored. He's been he'd be floating on air at the minute. Pickford's played, Keane's played. Both came through unscathed so far. We've still got the Denmark game to go. Richarlison played for Brazil. I think Firmino should have probably had 3 goals because Richarlison stole one off the line from him. James Rodriguez has played for Colombia, so has Yerry Mina. And that's really been our only scare, really, because Yerry Mina's didn't play the second game for Colombia, rested as a precaution because he had a discomfort in his thigh, it was said. But we've also had the good news that, Alan, Seamus Coleman and Andre Gomez are going to be fit for the game. And the reason that's good news is a lot of Everton fans were under the impression that Coleman was going to be out for a few weeks. So that would have meant we had to play Ben Godfrey, the new player, the centre-back, at right-back, which wouldn't have been ideal against, Robertson and Mane. Whereas now, if we do play him, he's going to be at centre-back over Yerry Mina, which would be a little bit more comfortable for him and might even help us because he's a lot faster than Yerry Mina. And, I like Yerry Mina, but he is a walking penalty, isn't he? Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, when you've reeled off the players that are going to be fit, again, this makes me feel like this is going to be such a good game because if you want to get your mug out and do that, we can all do that, mate. No worries. But I think it's going to be essential to have someone like a Coleman playing for you who understands the importance of the game. Obviously, Godfrey will come in, but he might not understand how important it is. But to know that Alan's back as well is a huge one for me. I think he really does control the tempo of your midfield in terms of getting it from defence to attack. He's popping it off. Played really well against Liverpool for Napoli twice in the Champions League.
Yeah, you can't get away, can you? Like, you drew them twice in successive years, and then when you haven't drew Napoli, he's moved to Everton.
Yeah, can't get away from the little 5'6" gremlin. But no, he's very important for you guys, and I do think this game. The what's on the line though, Terry, for this game, I think it just means more than ever because 4 out of 4, if we beat you, we obviously take away your invincible record so far, and we're coming off of our biggest loss in how many years? And we have to now put this right. And I think you can look at it on the side of, well, is it a good time to play Everton? They're flying, we're not in our last game. But the other side of that is let's get into these and change this poor performance against Villa and get a win. So, I mean, what do you think Liverpool are gonna play like, Terry? Let's look forward to the game on Saturday now. So, can we bounce back after the Villa game? Let's get a score prediction.
It depends what Liverpool turns up. Like, Liverpool could turn up and have a huge reaction from the Villa defeat. Obviously that's not the typical of Liverpool that we've come to know over the past couple of years. And, it's not going to be hard to motivate themselves, manager to players and whoever to play Everton. It's almost a perfect game to come off. It's a big defeat after. But you just don't know. Like, you could get... I mean, you won't play as badly as you did against Villa. No. And let's be honest as well, it was bad performance against Villa, but a lot of that was down to some pretty heavy deflections and everything just going against you on the night. That might not happen again, where things go against you to that degree. But then on the other end, Liverpool have not been since about what came for it was the Watford defeat last season before the Atletico Madrid defeat. It was around similar time, wasn't it?
Yeah, for the Watford one we lost, and then we lost away 1-0 at Atletico, and then it was mid-March the other Atletico lost. But yeah, that Watford was start of March, maybe end of Feb. Yeah.
Well, since around that time, Liverpool haven't suddenly become a bad team? Obviously not. But before that, it was like, this team's never going to lose again. Like, Liverpool just couldn't stop winning. And ever since that period, there's been, a couple of defeats, and, not just defeats, some bad, showings in there as well. And it's like, there is a way to get at this Liverpool team if they're not on it. So it is just a matter of how well Liverpool sort of bounce back from that game. There's some players who probably won't play. I don't think I've ever seen Joe Gomez play as bad as he did against Villa. I would imagine he won't play. I think he'll bring Matip in. So it's a flip of a coin. Liverpool could come out and be fantastic, or they could come out and be the sort of wobbly Liverpool who've crept up in the past few months. But score prediction, I'm going to be a coward and say 2-2.
I knew you were going to say a draw. I wish you would have put your chest up and said, "Go ahead, man."
I want to win. I never go into any derby not wanting to win, no matter how unlikely or how likely it feels. But I think 2-2, given the circumstances of this season and what's happened so far, I think both teams would take that. But I want to win. I want to win 4-5-0. I want to win 7-2. It's just whether it'll happen. I'm gonna take the coward's way and say 2-2.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go with 3-2. I think you watched the last match preview and score prediction. So, yeah, I'm with James. So I'm going to go with 3-2. Let's get into some comments here. UTFT, Terry. That's the only time I'll ever be saying that in my lifetime. Diego says, agree, the calibre of players in this derby is mental. Question, do you feel Klopp will play a high defensive line, and will Ancelotti play 3 or 4 at the back? Let's start off with Terry first. 3 or 4 at the back. What's your formation kind of prediction?
I think it'll be 4-3-3. He's played a sort of 3 at the back before, which was 4-4-2 into 3-4-3, but he's been that completely this season. He's just playing 4-3-3, Allen in front of the back 4, and James Rodriguez on the right, just having that free role to float. So whether it'll be Robertson or Fabinho picks him up, I don't know, but he'll be moving around. High line, yeah. I don't think Klopp is the type to go back within his shell for tactics. Obviously, the high line has been highlighted by Sky Sports and what have you in previous few games where Leeds especially, and the Villa game where it's been it's hurt Liverpool defensively. But I don't see Jurgen Klopp going, right, we're scrapping that, doesn't work, we're going back to not go back, but we're going to change things. I think he'll stick with it until they get it right, and he's got the players to get it right. It's just got some growing pains at the minute. So I think, yeah, he will play the high line, same as always.
I do agree with that. Diego also says that he's a native Colombian and he's naturally backing James, and Yerry Mina, I'm guessing as well. I'm sure he will do well, but he's sticking to Everton 0, Liverpool 1. A huge shout out to the Redmond Army that's just tuned in. James sent me, came from James. James sent us. James Redmond Army from the man himself, James. Redmond Army, James lad, Redmond Army, the Army. Score prediction, lads. Terry thinks 2-2. I'm going for 3-2. Here from James's live, Redmond Army. Wow, the love is real.
That was the last video. We need to go on that one.
Yeah, exactly. Get on that one. You should go on a stream with Rants. He's a loyal fan base. He's the top lad and knows football. We've already done one. Check out the football lockdown show with Rants. But of course, I'd like to get on his channel too. Redmond Army. I said I'd read them all out. Sorry, Terry. You're in my fucking house right now, mate. Don't worry about that. Is right, boys. James, lad, please answer my Insta message, says Greg. So, James, get on your Insta DMs and answer the boy. This guy as well is trying to get you to add him on Snapchat, so do that. And of course, everyone's subscribed to Redmond TV and the Kop TV. And listen, if you are an Everton fan, get involved with the Toffee Blues as well. Good lads there. Greg goes for 2-1. Let's get into one of my favourite parts of the show then. Now, Terry, this is the match day mixer. Obviously, we cannot go to the game, so I brought the 5 best bits of the match day experience to you guys. So that is a pair of trainers, a jacket, food, drink, and some music as well. Vital parts and components, Terry, of the match day experience. I'm sure you'd agree. Let's get into your trainers, though. And do you know what? It's really good to have someone on who really knows their shit about trainers. You could have said Adidas trainers, but you've gone in strong with the Adidas Equipment Tokyos. Of course, they're fucking blue.
Exactly. You've got to blue up for the game, haven't you?
Well, yeah. I mean, the Equipment Adidas I've got a pair myself, not in this colour, to be fair. But you can't go wrong with a pair of EQTs. Talk to me.
Right. Well, sorry. I thought I'd
No, talk to me about your choice here, bro.
All right. Okay. Well, basically, in a previous life, one of my old jobs was I was a footwear manager in a very large, well-known sports fashion store that goes by two initials. So I'm a bit of a a sneakerhead. I got about how many pairs of trainers? About 30 to 40 different pairs of trainers.
I'm pushing 120. I'm not going to lie, Terry. I've got about 125 at the minute.
Nice. Well, the thing with me is I wouldn't get that high, but I might have got, if I'd never thrown a pair away, because if they get battered, and I do look after them as well, but if they get battered, then I will send them on to pastures new. I'll let them go out great. Probably in my time I would have got to about 80 if I had never thrown a pair away. But you just got to blue up, and I love the equipment, the EQTs, and the criteria was what would you wear for the match. So I've got to have the Tokyo EQTs because they're blue and white. Got to have all the blue and white for the game. So that's the pair I'd reach for. But there's obviously other ones as well, like the original silver and light blue colorway for the Nomads, the NMDs, Adidas NMDs, and big like Adidas, so all stuff like that. But so that's my pick for the match because they're just an old reliable. I've had them for a long time now. I've had them for about 4 years, but they've sort of been assigned a specific task. They're the match trainers. They don't come out any other time, so they've kept a very good nick. And even then, I've got all the the cleaner materials and all that. I'm a proper trainer geek. So
the Crep Protector, Jason Marks, love it. I'm a big fan of the OG NMD colorway. Really hard to get hold of now, but I think the R1 was the best silhouette. The R2 for me, they lost it a little bit with that.
I've moved away from the R2. I like the
I don't like them.
I like Puma Trinomics as well, but the old style of them. Like prefer that, like the original Silo. It's called Silhouette. So like the ones of them, but yeah.
You know what? I've actually just filmed and wrapped a series with Puma called The New Terrace, which is all about football terrace culture, and that comes out on Friday on Versus YouTube channel. So keep an eye out for that, Tel. I'm sure you'll like it. The next item, I'm a big fan of this brand in particular, but obviously they sponsored you this season, which kind of makes me feel a bit of a way about wearing this brand now. I mean, they've got some great Parker coats that I've been wearing recently. Big fan of their tracksuits. And this is the only time that I will put this picture up. But here you go. It's the Hummel Everton walkout jacket. I mean, you put match day jacket, kind of training jacket, that kind of thing to wear to the game. I mean, listen, I'm not going to lie to you. It looks good. I do always like the 4 kind of arrows pointing down in the Hummel design. I mean, as a terrace man, as a casuals man yourself, Terry, I mean, were you excited when Hummel came on board with Everton this year?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Everton, it's one of the great weaknesses for me of Everton in general is the poor sort of kit brands we've had over the years. Like we've had Umbro for ages. Like it feels like we've had Umbro since time began.
Yeah.
And only every time we haven't had Umbro, it's been for like 2 years here, 3 years there. And we just go back to Umbro. So I personally was happy for the change because Umbro are just pony. They're absolutely terrible. And Hummel, like obviously everyone gravitates going, oh, I want Adidas, I want Nike, I want Under Armour. But like, yeah, okay. But then if you look at Hummel, there's no one else in the Premier League with a kit like ours. They've got the kits that we brought out have been our biggest selling kits like ever since we recorded sales. Basically every single like version of the kit this year, they're great. They've got classic the kits this year. I think some of our strongest set of kits possibly ever. And just for your information, the arrows are called chevrons. But
I do apologise there.
Yeah, but they're classic football, aren't they? I know Umbro are as well, but like the Danish company, they always do the Denmark kits.
They do, yeah.
And yeah, I just saw that jacket and was like, and I'm not typically big on yellow. I don't like, that's one of Everton's colours, I suppose, but I'm not big on yellow and being involved. I like it to be blue and white, but I just thought that was too nice not to get.
No, do you know what? It's a good look. Hummel Hive. I went to a capsule, a time capsule that they did last year, and you kind of walked in, and it was 70s, 80s, and 90s, like teenage bedrooms, time capsule stuff. So you'd walk in, and obviously, like you say, Hummel was the sponsor of Spurs in the 80s. So on the wall, you had Michael Jackson pictures, you had Maggie Thatcher newspaper stuff. It was an amazing experience. So I'm a big fan of Hummel. Obviously, it's just a shame that you guys have got them this season. But listen, we've not got a bad one either this year. So I'm happy for the both of us that we're selling out the kits and we're happy with the design. So big up to Hummel. But yeah, that's your pick for what you'd wear to the game. Obviously, you've got to eat something, tell bacon butty, or as you guys call it, a bacon bun, a bacon cob. There's so many different names for this, depending on where you come from, I guess. But yeah, you can't beat a bacon sandwich en route to the game, can you?
No, you sent me the list of mix of questions, and I was like, foods, and I thought, is it at the match? Because I don't really eat at the match because I don't even leave my seat at half time. I'm not that guy basically. But I said, oh, before the game, yeah, on a Saturday morning, 3 o'clock kickoff, you have your bacon sandwich and off you go. Brown sauce, got to be brown.
Yeah, brown sauce in the picture there. I mean, we're playing at 12:30, so I can imagine on Saturday there's going to be a lot of people eating one of these bad boys in the morning. The music is always important as well. Metallica, you've gone for. Big rock fan, aren't you? So it makes sense. One of the best bands of all time, really, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, music in the morning, just anything. Yeah, I like heavy music. I like a lot of types of music, but what I gravitate towards is heavy metal, hard rock, that kind of thing. So, to get G'd up for the match day, not better than Metallica. A bit of thrash. So, yeah, gotta be them.
Bit of thrash, hopeful thrashing, eh?
That or Spirit of the Blues, which is probably still number one, I think. I don't know, but top of the iTunes charts. That's the new favourite.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to wash it down with something to drink. You're probably drinking tea right now, but
no, coffee.
Oh, coffee?
Yeah, you're coffee, right.
That is a late coffee, Terry. 6:30 coffee.
Decaf.
There you go. But you've gone for a white coffee with 2 sugars.
Yeah, just complements the bacon butty before the game, doesn't it?
Yeah. Do you know what? We've actually had a comment just come in from Strew Cage who says, we're going to beat you, mates, UFTF. UFT. Oh, UTFT. Sorry, I'm not used to saying that. To be honest, when you keep saying blue and white, in my head, I'm like, blue and white shirt, hello, and I just can't get out of my head. I'm sure it's the same for you as well with the red and white shirt. But no, listen, perfect, apart from the team and the colours, in my head, that's almost the perfect matchday mixer there, Terry. Great choices. And hopefully we can get rid of matchday mixer soon and actually be at the game, eh?
Yeah, definitely. Soon as we're able.
Absolutely. Nuclear says 3 live streams in one day. What are you guys on? Well, if I told you that, then I'd just be revealing the secret, Nuclear, at them. So I can't tell you what I'm on, unfortunately. But yeah, 3 streams in a day. Listen, we've missed the channel for 4 or 5 days whilst there's been an international break. So I had a little bit of respite, but back to it now. Diego here says, still all 5 Avengers Marvel stones. The Kop TV is the Avengers glove. Well, there you go, Terry. You can't get more than that, can you? Let's go on to my second favourite part of the show, and that is Would You Rather, a question time for the guest. Give them 2 questions, and you've got to tell me which option you pick and the reasons behind it as well. So straight into this one. Would you rather have in your team, in their prime, Wayne Rooney, Lukaku or Calvert-Lewin? You can only pick one, Terry. You have to tell me why you've picked it as well, and the floor is yours.
in their prime, Wayne Rooney. We never
Wow.
got to see we never got to see Wayne Rooney in his prime. He was at Man United by the time he really, came into his own. But he was incredible. Like Wayne Rooney, for me, if he would have looked after himself and took his physical side of the game seriously, there would be a third name in the Messi Ronaldo sort of dichotomy.
Wow.
Messi, Ronaldo, Rooney, but Rooney didn't, so he's not considered like that. Rooney had the talent to be in that bracket.
Yeah.
But he's now, he's in his early 30s and he's in the Championship, whereas Ronaldo is at Juventus and Messi's still at Barcelona. Rooney had the ability, he had the talent, he just didn't have the sort of mindset in the sense of, not in the sense of his winning mentality. He was a winner, he went on to win all kinds, but it's well known. He drank, he smoked, he didn't, look after himself. He should have. It's weird for someone who won practically everything. He feels like he didn't hit his potential.
Yeah.
But even the Rooney that we did get, I'd have him all day over. As much as Lukaku was brilliant for us, as much as Calvert-Lewin's doing well now, Rooney was on a different planet to either of them.
Terry going for Rooney there. No questions asked about that. The second one is, who would you least like to lose to injury for the whole season? This is a real tough one. DCL, James Rodriguez or Richarlison. If you had to pick one that would be out for the rest of the season, and I know it's hypothetical, it's pretty sadistic actually, imagining someone being injured for so long. But who would you go for, mate?
I would like the least to get injured, James Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Obviously, all three, is just, doesn't bear thinking about. But James Rodriguez, if you watch the games we've had so far, he is the brain of the team. I think the rest of the team could accommodate losing any of the others more comfortably than they would losing James Rodriguez. He makes all the players around them lift their levels. He creates all of our chances. He is basically the most important player, I think, in our team. If you lost Calvert-Lewin, you could move Richarlison into the number 9 position. He could still do a job. If you lost Richarlison, then you could, there's still other players there. Not as good as Richarlison, obviously. There's, Anthony Gordon, I quite like, young lad coming through. And then, the manager quite likes Alex Iwobi and what have you. And then there's Bernard. You could accommodate losing the other two. There's no like-for-like replacement for someone like James Rodriguez and what he brings to the team. He is just the whole engine of the team creatively.
Fair play. 2 easy questions for you then, Terry. I thought they'd be harder. Listen, thank you so much for coming on, man. It's been a real pleasure. Although we, share different teams, I'm sure that, we could easily get on and have a beer in the pub as well. Do you know what? I'll even say this. Cameraman for the Kop TV is one of my best friends now, Everton fan. So it just goes to show that, we can still all live harmoniously in the city. So listen, thanks so much for coming on. If you're an Everton fan, if you're watching, please do subscribe to Terry and the Toffee Blues. You're big on Twitter as well. You contribute to the Echo. So definitely get on Terry. He's a top lad. And good luck on Saturday, mate. May the best team win. That's the fairest thing you can say, isn't it? It's the fairest thing. May the best team win, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Best team win. No controversy. No crying about referees. Nothing like that. Straight results, whatever it is.
Absolutely. Listen, it's going to be a belter. I personally think this could be the most entertaining Merseyside derby of all time. Will we see Adrian in goal? Will Kelleher get the shout? We don't know. I'm personally going for Adrian in goal. I think there is some uncertainty about that. But once again, Terry, all the best for Saturday, mate, and I'll see you soon. Take care.
You too, mate.